Good to go.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Burn It Down NASCAR podcast, post Indy road course pre-Michigan edition.
Rename it the Post Indy Road Course Destruction Derby.
Demolition Derby, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna step out of the way and let you guys top line thoughts. I've got some, but I want to hear what you guys got to say, and then we'll go ahead, do the rundown of all our stats. But I want to hear what you guys have to think about this.
It's good to watch as a viewer, but I would hate to be a driver. Ryan Blaney pretty much said it perfectly. Nobody gives a shit until the very end, and they're just shoving what they can.
Frank
sums it up. Other than the fact they couldn't control it, I mean, there was some good racing on the track. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good race, other than the fact that they couldn't control the cars. It seemed like going through the turns, everybody was spinning out. I think turn one needs to be moved out some. I think that was part of the problem, trying to break into that tight turn, and everyone jumbling up right there kind of didn't make it any better for them. The fiasco with Ross, of course.
We'll get to that.
And Kyle Larson.
Yeah. I have to disagree with you. I love turn one.
Turn one was great for.
Yeah. Put your big boy pants on and let's race. All right. I know there's been a lot of controversy this week. I've listened to a lot of back and forth on Sirius and read other stuff. I disagree. Don't change it at all. I loved turn one. It separated the men from the boys, in my opinion.
Okay.
I know it was tight. And if you don't have a brain box big enough to figure out you can't go in there 5 wide, then you need to get spun. And I know
There's a lot of people that are already through it, and they got hit in the behind. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick. It wasn't their fault.
My point is there anyone on that track, going in, coming through, or going out, that didn't know what they were dealing with? I mean, we're all professionals here.
All I am saying is this track gave everybody that had no skill a good finishing position. Todd Gilliland, fucking Harrison Burton, and Bubba all finished top 5. Come on. They just got lucky got through that.
The guys that thought they were better than everybody else made a shit ton of mistakes.
Yeah, I agree.
That was pit strategy.
Yeah, it had some, but no. It was
everybody else making mistakes around them.
One of my biggest takeaways from this was arrogance. Expected respect, which you don't get given to you. It's something that is earned. And there was a lot of guys that got spun out, and I will put Ryan Blaney right on the top of this list, that expected not to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
He expected, hey, I'm Ryan Blaney. You're not going to mess with me. Well, guess what? You just poked a bear, bitch. I know there's been a lot of controversy about this week, especially in turn one. My point is, you don't have none, don't say some, don't go there. You put yourself in that position. I loved this race. After the shitstorm that it was last year, I loved this race. This was one of the best, in my opinion, road races of the year. Start to finish. They they bit off more than they could chew in the beginning of the race. A lot of spin outs, wipeouts, a lot of contact. But they were learning, and it mellowed out through the rest of the race. And then of course we got down to crunch time, and I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter whether it's Michigan, Richmond, Bristol.
No one's gonna give you leeway.
Nobody is going to give you an inch at the end of a race. And there was a lot of guys that put themselves in position to get bumped around and roughed up and thought they didn't deserve it, I guess. I don't know. But you know what? Ryan Blaney, and I got a lot of respect for him, you put yourself there. If this was such a concern, and that's another thing that he said, is I was afraid this was going to happen. Okay, bitch, back up. Get out of the hornet's nest.
Do a Roth Chastain.
I loved what he did.
That was legal. I don't understand.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It was not legal.
No, according to the rule book, if you take that shoot, you cannot improve your position. That's fact. And he improved his position by a lot. And that was the ruling. It wasn't that he took the runoff. And, you know, his position was, I did it to avoid, you know, going 6 wide or whatever and making a big wreck. Okay, I'll give you that. But you improved your position by like 10 or 12 spots. And that the only thing I didn't like about that is because NASCAR came out, and I listened to Elton Sawyer with the morning crew. I don't remember what, yesterday, maybe the day on Tuesday, when, I don't know. But Elton, they questioned Elton about it. Why did it take you half a lap to call him off on that? And they said, well, we had to watch replays because when he shot out of there into that runoff, they didn't know exactly what position he was in. They knew that he joined in position 1, but they wanted to make sure that they made the call. The only thing that I can't even remember. I listen to him all the time. I'm having brain block. They were like, okay, no matter where he came from, he came out in position, well, two, then went into 1.
The S's, and he
yeah, and Riddick, we'll get to that as well. But they said they wanted to go through the replay to make sure exactly where he was at position-wise on the track.
They should have known that when he started. They should have that right in front of him. They knew he started like 10th and they came out 2nd. He positioned. Okay, stop. Like that should have been almost an instant thing.
It took him a little while. But even Elton Sawyer said, it's like, dude, he says, at least Riddick got by him and he wasn't an impediment and nothing else changed. He ended up now 27th, something of that nature.
Probably the
last car on the lead lap. But I don't blame Ross for that.
If they want to run off like that, make it way longer, and so they can't go quick like he fucking scooted. So they make it a big loop to where he can't speed like that. So it takes a long time to get around.
Maybe put another chicane in that or something. So I don't know, but I mean, I don't blame him for doing what he did. I really don't. It was a brainy move.
It almost looked like even before.
Go ahead. No, the rule states that if you take that route and you merge back into traffic, you cannot improve your position by doing that. Hence the reason that Bubba Wallace, there were some others that had made the same move, but they did not improve their position, why they did not get penalized. I mean, that boy jumped from 10th, 12th up to 2nd. contending for the win. It was, again, I was like, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You just screwed up bad. Go ahead, Frank.
Almost looked like he planned that move.
He said he didn't. They asked him about it. They said, "Did you guys plan that?" He's like, "No," but you don't know.
No, but I know. But looking at the replay, and I watched it several times to watch. It looked like before he even got halfway through the straightaway, he knew what was going to come up at that turn, and he made the decision to take that because he went way high right off the bat.
Oh, there wasn't even any smoke coming off his tires like he tried to make the turn.
Yeah.
He was aiming for that.
He knew he was on the
I
outside. He knew people were coming behind him. He's like, "Oh, screw it. I'm going to take the shoot."
Yep. Like I said, I thought it was a really good move.
Yeah. Gutsy call. I mean,
all he had to do was tap the brakes a few times, but hey, like I said, I applaud him for at least trying. It was pretty cool, and guess what? He lost to Denny this time, didn't he?
Yeah. Denny had a rough day too. Well, at least the start was rough.
Oh God, he was. Whew. All right.
All over the place.
Yeah. Ross finished in 27th, and we're Hamlin. Nope, Hamlin beat him. I just got to find it. There he is, 14th. So, all right, let's get the stats out of the way, and then we'll move on down the road here. Tyler Reddick, second place in a lame duck car, first place in a lame duck car, wins the race, and he's guaranteed in the playoffs. Austin Cindric was second. Burton, his best career finish in number 3. Todd Gilliland, I believe this is his best career finish in third. I'm sorry, fourth. Bubba Wallace, another top 5. I think that's 5 in a row?
No, I ain't 5 in a row.
5 in a row top 5s.
No, I don't think so.
For sure.
It's a couple, but it's maybe top 10s, but it ain't.
No, he's been second, third, second, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll give I'm fair. I'll give him the credit.
Bubba finished 8th last week. The week before that was 3rd. The week before that was 14th. Week before that was 35th. So the last 3 weeks he's been decent, but he was
all right.
3rd, 14th, and then 5th. It just seems like he's doing really well.
He's taking advantage of situations. Logano was 6th, Allmendinger 7th, McDowell another strong run in 8th, Cole Custer 9th, Buescher was 10th.
After his car caught on fire, that was.
Oh my God! How in the hell? I mean, they had to take squeegee on the inside of that car.
Yeah, they'd come in a couple times and blow him out, and I can't believe he finished 10th. I had him in my lineup too, and I'm like, he's done for the day. Nope.
Yeah, well, I made a similar mistake, but Kyle Busch 11th, Christopher Bell 12th, Stenhouse Jr. 13th, Hamlin 14th, Eric Jones 15th, and Chase Elliott, the top finishing HMS car, was in 16th.
It's not his fault. He got spun out in the beginning on turn 1, but he, got caught. He got caught up.
Alex Bowman in 31.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, William Byron in 31, Alex Bowman in 32, and Larson was in 35. All right, perfect segue. Holy hell, him and Ty Dillon.
I don't know what happened with him. Did he forget the turn was there? Did his brakes go out? I still don't know what.
I saw a story earlier today. They say the brakes didn't go out. So what was that all about?
He was daydreaming or something.
Did the throttle stick? Was he...
No one
I
is, no
saw a
one is,
story specific to this that said HMS has done their little after thing. The brakes weren't the problem. What was that all about then?
I don't know. It was a wicked crash. He's lucky he didn't go straight into a wall.
I find it hard to believe. Larson's one of the more talented drivers. He drives almost everything. That he went in there that high and just forgot to even try to slow down. Something went wrong.
Like Brian said, did he doze off? Did he have a moment? I don't know. It just the one definitive thing I've heard of, and again, there may be more out there that I haven't seen, but they definitively said that the brakes did not fail. That's all they said.
Radio communication right before it happened where Larson was complaining about his brakes.
He did say something. He was having soft brakes or something, like on the radio transmissions. But it wasn't like it wasn't like a Kevin Harvick where they exploded. I don't know what racetrack it was a few weeks ago. It wasn't like that, but it's like his brakes didn't even go. There was no tire smoke. He just was going, and Ty Dillon was just a innocent bystander to that.
And I feel sorry for Ty Dillon on that. I mean, obviously, but man, can you imagine if Ty Dillon wasn't there and he'd have run straight into that barrier? Because that's where he was going, head on into that barrier. I mean, that was that was one of the hardest hits between two cars that I think we've witnessed in a very, very long time. It ripped the side off. I just sat here. I was like, what the hell was that? And of course, they were in commercial when it happened, so we had to come back and I don't know. Kyle hasn't really said a lot about it. I got that official statement today out of HMS where they said that the brakes did not fail. It was something else. Now, did the throttle hang up? And if so, why didn't he just try to self-spin going in versus pull it through the corner? I mean, holy crap. But I give him credit. He jumped out of that car, and before he allowed himself to be taken to the in-care, he went and talked to Ty. It just was absolutely amazing to me.
His interview was good. He didn't try to throw Kyle under the bus with it or anything. He just, he wasn't. He didn't act like he was mad at Kyle in his interview or nothing. So that was good.
He was a good guy about it. All right. Again, let's move on to stats so we can keep rolling here. Regular standings right now, you got Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Logano, Byron, Blaney, Larson, Truex Jr., Reddick, Hamlin, Bell, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Kurt Busch, after missing 2 races and now 3 races coming up, is in 18th. Briscoe's wait a minute. What are we doing here?
He's in 13th.
I think I got the wrong screen up here.
Chase Elliott 1, Blaney 2, Ross 3rd, Truex 4th, Larson 5th, Bell 6th, Logano 7th, Kyle Busch 8th, Byron 9th, Harvick 10, Reddick 11th, Bowman 12th, Suarez 13, Cindric 14, Briscoe 15, Almirola 16. That's just by point. This isn't Chase.
That's what I was looking for. I had it filtered wrong.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Kurt Busch is 18th. Hamlin is 19th. Like, these are the guys who have wins. But if you go to the Chase, it's Elliott, Chastain, Logano, Byron, Blaney, Larson. Mind you, Blaney don't have a win yet. Then Truex, Reddick with 2. Hamlin, Bell, Kyle Busch, then Briscoe, then Kurt Busch, then Suarez, Cindric, and Bowman. And Harvick is how many points out? 96. Almirola 156. So they better get wins. Anybody who wants in from now on, I think they need wins because there's no way you're gonna catch. You have to get a win. They want
And
into
if
the
you
race.
go by wins right now, Elliott's got 4. Chastain, Logano, Byron, Reddick, and Hamlin all have 2. Larson, Bell, Kyle Busch, Briscoe, Kurt Busch, Suarez, Cindric, and Bowman all have 1. So, chase standings. Is that what you just did?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, you got Blaney and Truex that as of right now are in on points. I don't think that's going to stand. I think we're going to have this weekend. I think we're going to have a first-time winner. I really do.
Yeah, for how fast this track is, with this car, it might feel like a super speedway.
Oh, it's going to feel like a super speedway. So, all right, those are the hard facts. Let's get this fantasy bullshit out of the way. Lunar took the league this week. He had a 192. I don't know who he had. I somehow cannot filter on that. You had a 173. I had a 162. There was
I'm
somebody
happy with that for how messed up this race was.
Well, somebody screwed me hard towards the end of the race, and then because I was sitting pretty close to around a 200 until that last debacle.
He had Bell, Reddick, Wallace, Briscoe, and McDowell.
Nice.
I had
That's really nice.
I had Cindric, Suarez, Elliott, Reddick, and Bell. And Buescher screwed. Well, not screwed me, but Buescher would have been better for Suarez. But it would only gave me an extra 15 points, so it still wouldn't have been 200.
Kyle Busch is the one that, for whatever reason, happened to him. Because I had Ty Gibbs, which ended up being good. I should have put him in for Kyle Busch. I took him out and replaced Chase Briscoe with him. And then Cindric, Reddick, and Suarez. But that's why they call it a fantasy league. You can dream. And let's button up the fantasy league. Frank said Chastain was going to be a winner. Brian said Elliott. I said Suarez. So I won that one.
Sure.
Dark Horse. I said Gibbs. Brian said Allmendinger. And Frank said Keselowski. I think Allmendinger finished the best out of that bunch. Whether
you didn't
Bubba
win that.
finished...
What are you talking?
Who did?
You said you won that. You said Suarez. He finished 28th. Elliott finished 16th. I win that.
Okay. Put the gold star on your forehead.
I will.
On the Bubba watch.
Yeah, I think we all lost.
No, Frank won. We both said no. Frank said yes. Hamlin finishing.
Yeah, we said yes.
I said no. You guys said yes. He did.
He didn't look like it.
So that's that. All right. Unless you guys, either one, have anything more to say about Indianapolis and the road course, that is, we'll move on, but floor is you guys's.
Go ahead.
I like the road course, but I also feel we need the oval. Go back to there twice a year, one oval, and do the oval like, I don't know, do it in April or something and come back.
How about make it a tandem with the Indianapolis 500?
Yeah, why not? Like I said, do the oval and the road course. They're both
when
they're both good.
400 first started, they did it on Saturdays.
Well, like I said, that I don't. It's and a lot of the drivers are like, they want the oval. Like Kevin Harvick said, it's just embarrassing that we're not doing the oval, which it's an iconic track. I don't feel, how like they say like, Daytona and Indy or all the pinnacle races or whatever. Like I don't consider the Indy road course one of those pinnacle races. I would say Brickyard 400 is. Like, oh, you won at the Brickyard, and they're taking pictures and all that. I'm like, I don't consider the road course part of that. The oval, I think they should do oval early in the year or vice versa, but they can go there twice a year. Why not? I don't get it. Why not?
Agree. No, I do. I absolutely agree. And I would love to see it as a tandem event on Memorial Day weekend with the Indianapolis 500.
Well, they just
then move the Charlotte race to some other time. And of course, I'm going to get the blowback about the Charlotte 600. Well, you know what? You took the Daytona 500 away from us on 4th of July. You took the Darlington 500 away from us on Labor Day. So shut the F up.
Put Charlotte or Daytona back for the 4th of July and the Brickyard with the Indy 500. Boom. And then people could do the Indy 500 and
the double
without
having to fly 6 hours to. I agree. I think I was actually sold this year on the road course. I really and truly enjoyed that race. That it kept me glued to the seat. Especially after the debacle that was last year, which was horrible.
Yeah, the turtle in the backstretch. Yeah, that was bad. The ramp that caused problems.
Was bad. I was really surprised that they actually tried it again after that, but I'm glad they did.
Their ratings proved, and it's not going away, I'm sure. The ratings were really good.
No, they've already announced they're doing it again next year. But I agree with Kevin Harvick. And what you just said, they need to do the oval. They need to do the Brickyard 400. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be on any date certain.
No.
But imagine the PR if they did it on Memorial Day
it's what they did this weekend with the Indy, and it was like they were tagging it all together. The Indy cars were doing the road course with the truck.
How about do that on Memorial Day weekend?
I know, but they were doing the advertising it now. Why not do it then? And I think it'd be bigger then. Because they're coming back to the oval and the Indianapolis Raceway Park with the trucks and was it ARCA there? That was a good race too. IRP, they went back to it. Shit, it used to be Xfinity there, Xfinity and trucks, and this is the first time they've been back in a couple years, and it was really good. So
it was. I didn't catch all of that truck race, but I caught a little.
It was really good.
It was good.
It was really good finish and racing.
Actually, the first race I've ever been to was a truck race back in 2010 when we drove up to visit with you, Dave.
Was it IRP?
Yeah, it was IRP then.
That is awesome. I remember that visit. That was fun. That's the first time we got you a microphone in your face.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Let's close out Indy unless anybody else wants to talk about.
Not really.
Indy's good.
All right. Let's move on to some news and notes. I've got some things wrote down here, and a lot of it does have to do with events at Indianapolis. But I want to kind of blast through this and then move on to the next race. I texted Brian in the middle of the race. I don't know who's aware of this, but NASCAR, in addition to their driver cams, they have what they call an aerial cam, which is basically a drone that's just flying around the track and kind of keeping track of the leaders. There was nobody there.
Yeah, it was pretty empty. I was surprised.
It was empty. And back when in the mid 90s, whenever they started, and I went to the first several races. You had to get into a lottery to get a ticket. And we started out at the entrance to turn 3. We couldn't see shit because of the fence and the way that chain link lines up. I thought when I first got those tickets, and it was for the inaugural race, I'm like, man, I'm styling. I'm at the Brickyard 400. I'm right down on the wall. Man, this is going to be awesome. I can see turn 2. I can see 3. I'm on it. I can see over into turn 4. The only thing I'm missing is pit road and turn 1. All I did all day long was I couldn't see shit. Literally. The only thing I saw was them coming in to turn 3, going through turn 3, and exiting turn 4. So, next year, now I'm in. So I get to upgrade. Same section, up about, what, Brian? Maybe 10 rows, 12 rows?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot. Granted, it was better. It was just less magnified as to the issue. Long story short, I think it was 4 to maybe 5 years later, I finally got upgraded into the short chute between 3 and 4. And not only upgraded, I was in the top of the stands like, man, I'm I'm styling. I mean, I've got all of this front stretch, the back stretch. I can see the entrance to turn 1, the exit of turn 2, all of 3 and 4. And I'm like, man, I'm in heaven. We're sitting there watching the race, and all of a sudden we see smoke below us. And then feel literally in the stands, 30 plus rows up, a bump. Somebody turned around and slammed the wall in the short chute. It took us almost 10 minutes to figure out who it was because it took them that long to drag Jerry Nadeau off the wall in the 25 car. And that was the last time I was at Indianapolis. I was like, I'm done. I can see more on my couch and on the TV than I can here. I mean, I love the track, but it's not viewer friendly or not viewer attendance friendly. There's, in my opinion, there's so much. I mean, what we're talking, a 2.5 mile, 2 mile track. I don't think there's any place on that track outside of sitting in a drone or a blimp that you can see everything.
Well, even if you had good seats, you have that fucking huge gondola, whatever, building in the center of the track where you can't see.
We were on pit road one time, if I remember correctly.
Well, I think it was we went to the IROC races and we were checking different spots of the track.
Yeah,
we were checking like, let's go over there and see what it looks like, and let's go over here and see. And it just was like, it was hard to see because just there's always something in the way. And then on the front stretch, it's nice. You use the front stretch, but you have that huge building. You can't see the back stretch. And where you were,
or whatever
yeah, whatever, yeah, that building. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
All right, let's get past this. We all know that Camping World is not returning to the Truck Series, correct?
Yeah, they apparently, NASCAR has known about that for a while. Apparently, rumors is going to be Craftsman again, which is nice to see here. Actually,
Craftsman was, I think, the initial sponsor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I like it.
Yep.
I do.
But Haley Deegan's gonna lose her. Well, she doesn't have to, but that's one of her sponsors is Craftsman. And I don't know how. Like, I guess it's owned by Lowe's now, so it's not really it's not Sears. I was gonna say Sears was back in the day, so it's not bankrupt. So it's technically Lowe's that owns the brand. So yeah, it'd be nice if that's true. I'm pretty sure they'll announce it probably during the playoffs or later on. say, next year.
I just, like I said, that don't upset me at all.
Nope.
Sounds
better. Craftsman Truck Series.
One more thing I didn't want to cover before we leave Indianapolis. Keselowski's got a new name. It's Pinball Wizard. That boy was bouncing off of everything and everybody. Holy crap. I don't know how his year can get any worse. I really don't.
He came out and said yesterday or today, he says NASCAR is too lenient on penalties. He says NASCAR needs to be handing out penalties like candy.
Well, I think that probably that sentiment is how Hamlin and Kyle Busch were treated versus him.
Mm-hmm.
I went into a diatribe last week. I'm not going to do it again.
Well, last week we said what we think Kyle, Brad Keselowski's thinking, and we're like, well, he's staying low. And then he came out this week and says that he thinks NASCAR needs more penalties to keep people in line. So I don't know.
They need to be even-handed.
Yeah.
Is what they need to do. I don't care when you robbed the bank or if you got caught at the bank or whether you got caught when you got home. You committed the same crime and the penalty should be the same. And that's as simple as I can put it. William Bryan's hauler.
William Bryan, NASCAR allowed them to work on the car that was in there and didn't change anything, but just checked it out, and they had the Hendrick spare car was on there also, so they allowed them to check all that out. But yeah, that's pretty scary that his hauler. Well, I don't know exactly.
It was the generator.
The
generator that burned up.
Yeah.
And of course, Hendrick at Indianapolis, 17th or 16th for Elliott, and everyone else was
way back.
24 was 31, 32, 35.
Oh.
I don't think they
Chase Elliott was there when he got hit and he just couldn't come back. It was too late in the race.
Well, I'm not a person that likes to hear all the people talking about how Chase Elliott likes to cry a lot, but in this situation, he needed to just shut his mouth. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. I'm not saying
Chase. I don't think Chase said anything. It was Ryan Blaney.
Oh yeah, he did.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
I didn't see anything.
There's a couple of quotes out there. He was effing this and effing that.
I didn't see anything.
It's like, man, just shut up. Same with Blaney, and I like both of them. I really do. But you both need to just shut up. You're all rainbows and unicorns when things are going right, but whatever.
I think Blaney's getting more frustrated where he's pretty much not there every weekend for the win, but he's there and contending.
He is now.
And he's not got the win, and it's, I think, getting to him where it's a possibility he might not be in the chase because of it, And it's...
Watch him and Harvick. Him and Harvick both. The aggressiveness is going to be on display.
Yeah, I think Harvick is going to amp up for sure.
Yeah.
I expect him to win. We got, Michigan, Richmond, Watkins, Daytona. So I expect Harvick for Richmond or Michigan to do really well.
Now, see, I go Richmond or Watkins Glen.
He's good at both. But I just think Michigan is just one of those tracks, and we'll see with this new car where they can just hold it wide open. He might be one of those, be super aggressive.
Was it Mark Martin has the track record at
I think it's Bill Elliott.
No, I think it's Mark Martin. Track record. I think it was 205, almost 206 at Michigan. I'd be very interested to see what these speeds are this coming weekend with the new car. I'm trying. I know Brian's way ahead of me here. But
Jeff Gordon holds the qualifying record at 206, 2014.
Jeff Gordon?
2014, yeah. 206 miles an hour.
I thought it was Mark
Same
Martin.
here, yeah.
I was trying, Frank.
MIS is NASCAR's racetrack.
Isn't Indianapolis?
I'm just looking at this facts.
I mean,
on the Michigan.
Atlanta?
I thought it was Atlanta.
Oh, this is on the Michigan's website.org. Michigan MIS NASCAR's fastest racetrack. As due to the repave in 2012. Long straightaways on track and let drivers reach their high speeds. Now, I don't know. This was probably made, probably sure it's pre-Atlanta. What was Atlanta's? Because this is 206 and they're running 200. That's pretty damn quick. Like I said, this is Jeff Gordon who has the record at 206.558.
All right. I just Googled it and it says Michigan is the fastest track in NASCAR.
I didn't think that. To be honest,
I did not.
I didn't realize that, to be completely honest.
I did not realize that. I thought it was Atlanta. And it would have obviously be Daytona or Talladega
but
because of
restrictor
the
plates.
Restrictor plate.
Yeah.
But you're correct. I just Googled it, and they're saying that Michigan is the fastest track due to its wide sweeping corners, long straightaways.
I expect it to be just like it this week, too. New car. I expect it to be like a super speedway. I expect them to be racing.
Because I remember it was a big deal when Mark Martin broke the track record, and he was running like 205, 206, something like that. But I had no idea that. I thought Atlanta was faster than them.
I think Atlanta probably has restrictor.
No, it does not. There's only 2 tracks still that run restrictor plates, and that's Daytona and Talladega.
The Atlanta is 197. Jeffrey Bodine.
Even with the reconfiguration that's going on now?
Who holds the record for Atlanta? Oh, well. Oh. Okay, I don't know how real this is. This might be Indy, though. Yeah, IndyCar 224. I'd have to look.
Be right back.
Yeah, it looks like it's 197. 197 and Jeffrey Bodine. Just by quick
What
searching.
year?
97.
Wow. That long? So that record's been standing for 25 years? Okay.
Duos, like I said, Jeff Gordon. I didn't realize it was Jeff Gordon.
I didn't either.
206.5, 2014. I expect 200s again this week with the new car and
I do too.
with the extra
do,
gear.
I also expect a lot of carnage.
Yeah, because it's gonna be like I said, I don't know what to expect. Usually Michigan's just pretty lame, pretty like low back, but with this new car and I don't know what to really expect, but I expect more carnage than normal.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that. What year was it? We went there and they had that practice, and we came out and they canceled practice because there was a car flipped over on turn 2 or 1. Who was that?
Morgan Shepherd in the 21, and it took him a day to figure out how to put it on a rollback to get it out of there.
Yeah.
And that's back when they had the Friday and Saturday qualifying.
Yeah,
and all
that was They had happy hour 1, happy hour 2.
They pulled it to the end of pit road because they couldn't fit. It was so jacked up. They didn't know what to do with it. I do remember that. That was amazing because we were sitting in the stands for that one. That was amazing. But I think it was Morgan Shepherd. So, I just got 2 more news bits that I want to do, and then I'm going to shut up and let you guys bring up whatever you want to bring up. real quick hit. Eric Jones has signed an extension with Petty GMS, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, real happy with that. Glad he's staying there.
Yeah, I like what he
Yep.
said. He's like, I feel like my voice is heard here for like improvements or this and that. He feels like he's just not the driver, just drive and shut up and drive. His word is meaningful to that organization.
Absolutely. And then another backstory: Richard Childress is really, really, really pissed with Tyler Reddick.
Oh yeah, even with the wins.
And there's nothing he can do about it because the guy's out. He's solidly in the chase now. But Richard Childress has done at least 2 interviews / statements where he's not pleased. And the last article that I read where supposedly they were interviewing him, he says, "Do you remember when Kevin Harvick left?" And he was telling the interviewer, "We talked about it." And he said, "At that time, there wasn't much I could do about it. There wasn't much I could offer. But Kevin Harvick had the integrity to come to me and talk to me about it and tell me what his options were and why he was taking that option." And he said, "The difference is he and I held a press conference together and told the world about it." He said, "Why I'm so angry is that this was done behind my back, without my input, without any opportunity for me to do anything about it. And it was announced publicly." He said, "I was totally blindsided." He said, "I had no idea any of this was going on." And that's why he's so angry about this. But what's he going to do? I still say he's going to tell Tyler when we're done this year whether he wins a championship or not.
He should.
Bye-bye.
He should.
He should.
Call
He says, "You're
call
done."
up Austin Hill. Segue. Call up Austin Hill into that 8 car. Be done with it.
Austin Hill's running the 33 in Michigan.
That's what I was.
RCR.
Yeah, that's why I said segue because he's already getting Austin Hill settled into a car, the 33, which is nice to see back on track. But yeah, I just say screw the extension. If you want to go, fuck you and go. Even though Tyler Reddick will probably outperform whole RCR as it is, just because that's who a good racer he is, and he's going to get top tier equipment from Gibbs and Denny Hamlin and whatnot. But
now I wanted to throw something out here. We still don't know what Kyle Busch is going to do.
No.
And I have been saying all year that he's going to go over to Stewart-Haas. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not because readings in the last week, it sounds like maybe Kyle is going to lower his demands and stay at
he's saying
JGR.
changing concessions and stuff like that. Yeah.
So Richard Childress gets pissed and tells Tyler Reddick, bye-bye.
Kick rocks, kid.
And puts in Austin Hill. And then Tony Stewart hires Reddick for a year. Just a 1-year, one-off contract while they're waiting on the 2311 thing.
Well, I thought about this today also because of the Austin Hill thing is what if, because right now, Kurt Busch, as much as, he's a likable guy, I'm sorry, your health is more important. Be done racing, retire, be done. So that leaves that car open for 1 year. So who's going to take it? Ty Gibbs next year. And then Denny Hamlin gets a third charter and puts Tyler Reddick in it. Because they're already talking about Bubba Wallace extensions. There's already.
Yeah.
So I think Denny Hamlin's going to get if Ty Gibbs doesn't go to Gibbs, he's going to go to Denny and drive the whatever car 45. Put him in it. Screw it. And then get a third charter for.
There's a lot of validity in what you're saying about Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I feel
this is going to be the third straight race, and the only reason he's going to be in the playoffs is because he's won a race.
Yep.
And I think he may ride. There's a lot of things that the mainstream NASCAR media isn't paying attention to right now. And I think this is one of those big stories with Kurt Busch. I think he may, as soon as he can, get back in the car and finish up.
He'll do a Dale Jr., just finish out the year and be done, I think.
I tend to well, I'll put it this way. I would not be surprised if that's what ends up happening. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and honors the rest of his
Yeah.
contract through 2023. But I've also seen a couple articles out there where Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan have both told him, he's like, no matter what you do, you've got a place in this organization for life. Right. He's basically got a Jeff Gordon contract.
Yeah. So like I said, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, put Ty Gibbs in the 45. That'll leave that car, because if Reddick is, if Childress going to say, screw you, I'm going to keep you in contract, not let you go. That means that 45 car is open if Kurt Busch retires. So put Ty Gibbs into it. Bam. I know it's going to take him a while to get, and then buy a third charter for Tyler Reddick, which he's already talked about buying a third charter.
He has. But I still say, in my opinion, at this point, with the information that we have, I believe that when the chase is done this year and the championship and all that, Tyler Reddick is done with Childress.
I think, I think he might do a 180 on him. Haha, son. Find a ride for next year,
And then I also will not be surprised either way whether Kurt Busch says, you know what, I'm done with this. There's his ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple scenarios I see playing out, and there's a lot coming. And like I said, I think Kurt's done after this year, if not done already. He might say screw it, but I think he wants to finish out the year. Kyle Busch,
I think he's hungry to try and go do it one more time.
Yeah, he's been at the track. He's been helping with the data and behind the scenes with the races.
Yeah,
so he's already trying to progress into that role. But there's a lot of, I think there's going to be a lot of shakeups, especially when the chase is locked in.
There's a lot of things that aren't being talked about that I think is going to happen.
And when the chase locks in, I think it's going to be a lot of shit hitting the ground. It's no longer stuck. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it could be if Kurt gets back in the car just to convince himself whether or not he still can or still wants to because of his injuries.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. I don't know. I think Dale Jr. probably talked to him because he's the one that can relate the most and here's what I dealt with.
Well, if you'll remember, in the dawn of Dale Jr.'s career, he went through this same protocol, the same missing time, and he did come back
too early and had another concussion.
Finish the year.
Yep.
And then he retired.
Now he races one off every year.
I really wonder if Kurt Busch isn't going to do the same thing, because if he does make that decision, as we just got done discussing, it opens up a lot of doors for a lot of people in a lot of different situations, not just with 2311, not just with Richard Childress Racing. There is a huge domino effect of this, of a lot of different teams, a lot of different drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And until the day comes where Kyle Busch is solidified and whether he's going to stay with JGR or go somewhere else. And I still am going to stick to my guns until it doesn't happen that he's going to Stewart Haas.
Well, even Carvick came out and said, I'd love to have him. I'd love it.
Carvick's like, oh, hell to the yeah on that.
Yeah.
Which kind of gave me more.
He knows something.
Exactly. But you get that one settled between whether Kurt retires or not, whether Kyle stays or not, and then you've got Harvick kicking his 2 cents in. I think this could be an earthquake.
Oh yeah.
In the postseason and probably and I think the main domino that's got to drop is, what does Kyle Busch do?
Yeah, when Kyle Busch goes, it's going to be boom, bam, 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 bam.
Because now you've got a spot for Ty Gibbs, which means you don't have to make a spot for Tyler Reddick over at 2311.
Yeah.
If Kurt Busch decides, like I said, there are so many things that could happen right here. But if Kyle leaves JGR and goes over there, to Stuart Haas, that just automatically, in my mind, opens door after door after door after door for silly season.
I don't think the Kyle Busch news is to come out until he's knocked out of the chase. You know, let's say he gets knocked out in the top 8. If he doesn't make top 8, I think there'll be an announcement. I'm no longer with Gibbs this year. I think it's gonna wait till the chase is over, because that's gonna be more publicity.
I think so too.
There's nothing gonna come out. Like I said, regardless if it's settled now, which it could be, which I don't think it is. They're not gonna announce anything until his season's done, you know, like regardless of.
But I have to wonder if it's not done already, because you had Trevor Bayne that could have gone over to 20.
Man, I love Trevor Bayne a second chance. Give him a car, good equipment, and he proved
a man with a year plus of experience on the Cup circuit, and Ty Gibbs gets the nod over him, which to me means that they're trying to get in some track time, some seat time.
John Hunter Nemechek was supposed to be the original guy in the 45, if you didn't know. Denny Hamlin came out and said that this week.
Really?
John Hunter
I did not know that.
No. Yeah, that's a Kyle Busch driver, and and he has Cup experience a whole year, but not in the new car. So yeah,
it was the old car.
Yeah, John Hunter, he was the original. And then I'm pretty sure Joe Gibbs like, no, let's put Ty in, get him in there, and he's proven his worth.
And I've questioned since the day that announcement was made why Trevor Bayne was passed over again. And I believe it has to do with grooming Ty to take over the 18.
Oh, I think he's going to be the 18.
I agree with you, Brian. I think in my common sense trying to figure things out world, that the Kyle Busch situation is really already resolved. They're probably just trying to iron out, and I brought this up before. You've got Kyle Busch Motorsports with the trucks. You've got his son Keelan that you've got to take care. I mean, it's not just what Kyle Busch decides to drive. There's a whole lot of other stuff involved that Kyle Busch wants full support for.
I don't know. It's kind of like, I know Kyle Busch is, into that, but if you don't know, I kind of meant to bring this up the other day. You know how Tony Stewart has his drag racing team with his girlfriend or wife, whatever she is now? Do you know what car brand that is? His drag racing team?
Kyle?
Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart drag racing team.
It's Dodge.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that.
His drag racing team is Dodge.
I do remember seeing that.
So
that's a subject we haven't touched on for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Tony Stewart's drag racing team is Dodge. Yes, that it's not affiliated with NASCAR, but that means Tony has his hand in the pot with Dodge, and they could have already approached him as, hey, we want to come back to NASCAR. What if we shove $50 million down your throat for R&D and getting you started up, So.
And having Kevin Harvick and
Kyle Busch at the helm of that.
And that's something I think would trip Kyle Busch's trigger.
Yeah.
In the dawn of his career is like, all right, let's do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And when I read the article about Kyle Busch's comment, willing to take a pay cut and make concessions, I was thinking, maybe one of the people he's talking to, one of the teams he's talking to, has offered him less money, and he's realizing now may not get what he's asking. So he's putting that out there because he knows he's taking less money already.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. He's not gonna get the $23 million salary that he's getting now. So even if it goes down to 15 or whatever,
right.
I think he'll find a sponsor. Like even if it is Haas, Like, he'll find one. That's what Kurt Busch drove for a long time, Haas. So
Right.
I can see it happening. I'm just, like I said, we're waiting for, he's waiting for his season to be done before he announces what he's doing. Even though if it's done now or not. But like I said, it's one of those, I meant to bring that up a couple weeks ago about Tony Stewart, that he's got his hand in the pot with Dodge. So it's very well may be true.
Like I said, I think as these guys progress or don't through the playoffs, I think there's going to be some pretty really big shoes drop. I they always talk about silly season, but there's so many people involved in all the scenarios that we've discussed, and they're all involved in the chase one way or another, or the playoffs, except for Harvick. But as of right now, he's got 4 races to fix that, and I think he will actually. But man, this could be an earth-shattering end of the season. I mean, unbelievable end of the season.
Well, yeah.
As far as
Especially
announcements.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, the latest monkey wrench is obviously Kurt Busch with his
Concussion. Yeah.
concussion. How scared is he about this? Does he want to keep going for another year, take another chance? I mean, let's face it, this didn't happen at Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah.
It was a smaller. Was it not?
It was Pocono.
Pocono, which is again a fast track.
His hit didn't seem that hard. Kyle Larson looked a lot harder. So
oh my god,
it's just probably an awkward hit where his head probably bounced around in the head seat, and that's a wrap.
Yep. All right. Anything else you guys got news and views wise?
Yes, I want to say congratulations to Ryan Newman for winning Wilkesboro last night.
And the place was
Packed. Yes, I saw pictures and I was like, holy shit, could you imagine just the goosebumps of just walking in that place and just seeing it packed?
I saw a side-by-side on Facebook from the last race that was there, and then in the Cup Series, and last night, it was more packed last night than it was for the I was like,
oh yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, yes, it looks outdated, but they're working on it. If they want NASCAR to come there, they need to do a new catch fence, because that catch fence is old. But it looks so good. I can only imagine what it felt like. Because this how long has that track been down? 15 plus years, 20 years, whatever. Imagine
like
going to the last race there and coming to this first race. Could you imagine just the memories that just bam hit that person in the face? Many people were there that went through, back in the day. And then Junior announced he's going to be in his car. He's driving later on this month or next month. He's driving his very first original car. Paint scheme, Sundrop, same exact paint scheme and sponsor from when he did his very first race there, which is fucking cool. So I thought that was awesome, and NASCAR needs to take fucking notes.
I agree. I'd rather see him at Rockingham or North Wilkesboro versus downtown Chicago.
I'm so glad that they're redoing this. I know they're gonna pave it, and I think that's gonna drive. It won't be NASCAR Cup. But I can see trucks and ARCA, and then them obviously sprinkling maybe Xfinity, and then seeing from there. But I think definitely NASCAR will be there in the next 5 years, but it'll not the Cup. It'll be trucks first. I just thought it was so cool, and I seen Ryan Newman won it, and I'm like, that's fucking so cool.
I think that made it cool to me.
Yeah.
To see Newman win it.
Yeah. I thought that was great.
No, it was absolutely awesome. I agree with you. I'd forgot about it, but that's awesome. All right. Anything else, guys?
Oh, let me do a real quick thing. Sure, there's probably something.
The 34 penalized for 100 points, and
That was last week. Yeah,
that was last week.
yeah, they came out and said they're not gonna not contest the penalty. What is it called?
I know they got penalized last week. I thought it said update 2. I was wondering maybe they got
They just
penalized
came out and
this
said
week.
they're not gonna contest that penalty. They're gonna take it.
That's why it's showing as a new
Yeah,
article.
yeah.
Okay.
They said they're just gonna take the penalty starting this week.
Okay.
That's Michael McDowell. Or,
Yes,
no.
Michael McDowell. Yeah.
Yes.
McDowell.
Okay.
He had Bondo in his seams. I'm just trying to read up on some other things, and there's nothing really camp.
A little hometown thing there on my end. Martin Transportation System is going to be on Michael McDowell's car in Michigan.
What is?
Martin Transportation Systems,
What's that?
MTS. They're a trucking company. If that's the one I'm thinking of down here, they haul fuel and oil and stuff nationwide in 18-wheelers.
Okay.
And I used to work on one of Martin's terminals a few years ago. I kind of thought that was interesting to see that. I didn't think Trent Martin was that big. I guess I knew they were along the South Houston and Mobile down here through the oil field regions along the Gulf Coast, but I didn't realize they were that big.
Huh.
I'm reading Bob Pockrass's tweets because he has a lot of information, and someone asked him a question. He's like, "What can we expect out of Michigan? Will it race more like the Auto Club or Atlanta?" He replied, "It says Michigan will be the 670 horsepower package, so expect it to be more like California than Atlanta." So I don't know what the 670 horsepower package is. I don't know if that's gonna be or not. I'd have to. Another thing too, Chase Elliott can win the regular season points 2 weeks early because he's so far ahead. That was another thing, is he's so far ahead in the regular points. He can win 2 races early. He can win technically at Watkins Glen instead of Daytona. But other than that, there's really nothing news wise.
Okay.
See real.
Yeah. Martin Transportation System is a partner of Love's. That's why he's going to be on McDowell's car. They're one of. I didn't realize they were partnered with Love's truck stops. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that they were that big. I haven't seen anything much left to talk to either. I agree with you on this. Really, other than the races that we talked about, I'd still be interested to see what Kyle Larson has to say about that at Indy, but he has not saying much.
There's an article here saying NASCAR cover up speculated as reveal the real truth behind Kyle Larson. I haven't read it. I don't know if it's. They're saying something. Other than that, no, I'm good. Only thing we have left to do is picks.
Who you got, Frank, for the winner next week at Michigan?
Daniel Suarez.
Who? Suarez?
Suarez.
Out of left field.
Brian?
Well, I'm looking at the stats of the last 6 races at Michigan.
Oh
no, that's not Michigan. It's the wrong track.
I would say. I think Harvick. I'm gonna say Harvick. He's got such a fire under his ass right now. Needs to. Say Harvick.
That's who I picked.
Is it?
Harvick. Yep.
Harvick.
Frank, who's your dark horse? Below 25th position. 25 and below.
Ricky Stenhouse. No, he's 24th. Michael McDowell.
Good pick.
I was gonna say that, but I'll go Brad. Bad Brad.
What? Do you have a camera over here or something?
14 hours away. I don't think so.
You're wrong.
That was my pick. All right. Does Bubba finish the race?
Yes.
Top 20.
Yes.
Hate to say yes. He's just on a decent roll lately, so yeah.
Nope. How about Denny?
Yeah, he's gonna finish. He's gonna finish top 20.
I'll say yeah.
So did I. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're way long here. I get that. Brian, I'm obviously I want you to do your little thing, but I did want to take note that in the last couple of days we do have a couple of new subscribers. I don't know, Brian. I know you're in on this.
I posted.
Email.
I posted. No, I'm not. I don't have it. I know. I've reposted a lot of videos from the Indy because of the way their crashes were. So that's probably what it is. I do know that the last podcast audio version was our most listened to. I think just that's because the Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch disqualification. It was the
well, we do have two new subscribers, Ned Yost 63 and Joshua Kinberg.
You two.
So I want to give them shout outs for because when they subscribe, as soon as you upload, that they're alerted to it.
Yeah.
So we did get two new ones this week, which was to me really cool. Let's just keep going. I mean, like I said, it's we've realized from the beginning this is going to take time. But go ahead, Brian. Do your thing.
Huh?
During Sunday's race, I was chatting with a friend of mine from our own NASCAR group before I met you, David. And I told him about the podcast, and he listened to it. And I think he may be subscribing, and he may try to get on our fantasy league this week.
Cool. Like I said, it's a little bit here, a little bit there. We just keep moving in the right direction. The only thing I got to say about it is, again, we're not getting paid. It's costing us. We're not professionals. We're just basically all a couple of country hicks that like talking about NASCAR, as you can tell. It is what it is. Ain't nobody in the real world going to listen to us, but or take what we say seriously. I mean, there ain't no NASCAR rules going to change because of what we got to say. So, all right, Brian.
Yeah. Other than that, like I said, it was the most listened to, which was cool to see. But I just think it's because the controversy of the Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch. But if you also are watching on the video version on YouTube and I got to get going, all you got to do is search the Burn It Down NASCAR podcast, Google it, and it'll be the first thing. But there's other websites and audio platforms out there. There's RSS.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung, Pandora, and Google Podcasts. All you have to do is search Burn It Down NASCAR podcast or Burn It Down podcast, and it should pop up. And usually the episodes are there Wednesday night, if not Thursday morning, ready to go. Like I said, you can listen to it audio version those ways, or watch it on YouTube, and then you can comment and go from there. Other than that,
Cool. You going to Michigan this weekend?
probably not.
All you gotta do is walk up to the gate. They got a ticket. For
Yeah,
you,
I'm sure. I honestly thought about going to Indy, but I had Summer, and she probably like it, but I just know it'd be hard to see there. And I thought about doing Michigan too, but it's a 3-hour drive there, 3-hour back.
Yeah, well, it's literally a little less. And now that it's not such a big deal, the traffic isn't as bad, but you still got 2-lane US 12. That's going to be a bitch for anything. So,
Yeah, I thought about it. I don't know yet. Probably not.
I said, I don't think you got to reserve anything. You just walk up to the gate.
Well, I'll just grab a ticket and then you go sit wherever you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
The cheapest one you got. All right, cool.
And then just move wherever you want to go.
I thought about it. I don't know. I'm still up in the air. It all depends if I have Summer.
I'd actually like to go back to a Michigan race just because of the memories and all that. I will give Michigan credit. They announced, a week or two ago that the infield is sold out. So the party goers are still there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you what, as a participant more than once, the infield at Michigan is freaking cool. It is so much fun. And it never stops.
I wasn't there for that year where the rain happened for 3 days straight, and you had the mud.
Oh, that was an August race.
Yeah.
And we were in, well, that may have been when something else happened to you that year.
I got in a car accident.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. That storm,
that
it was a
year.
car accident, yeah. But
Yes.
yeah, that was I remember the race.
I couldn't get out of there.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of there. We had to send Brandy and Jamie to come get you because I couldn't get out of there.
Yeah, if people want to watch, just search Google the Michigan rain out mud, and there's people mud sliding, swimming through puddles.
I saw people get tossed out of there.
Yeah.
In the campgrounds that we were in, there was some Canucks in there, and they were doing mud sliding, dragging behind their vehicles.
Well, the race got delayed 3 days because of the rain.
Yeah, that race didn't happen till like Tuesday.
Yeah, it was delayed a long time.
And of course, everybody in the campgrounds getting restless. It was just so wet, and they were 4-wheeling in the campgrounds, and security coming around is like, dude, you got to stop this, and they do it again. Boom, they're out. There was a Canadian group across the way from us. And this must have been on Monday. And the lady went with a friend because they had already announced that the race wasn't going to happen. It was probably going to be tomorrow. This was hilarious. The old man, of course, they drink that 10% beer. It's not our normal 5 or 6. And they got plowed early in the day. Mama and a couple of her friends took off to go to Detroit or wherever to do some shopping. Well, by the time she got back, security had gotten a hold of this guy because he was just doing dumb stuff. I mean, literally just 4-wheeling through mud holes. They were doing mud wrestling. I mean, it was fun to watch, believe me, but it was insane. Well, security tossed him out, and he was packing up his sight as she got back. And she's like, man, I can't take your stupid ass anywhere. I can't believe I leave you for 6 hours, and not only do you get plowed, you get us thrown the freak out of here, and the race isn't even. I mean, she was tearing his ass up. David Pulaski and I, we're sitting across the road in our chairs. Yeah, man, let's go do some more. It was freaking hilarious. But that was that year that they tried to get the race started on Monday. It wasn't racing, but the fog bank was so low. I mean, we went into the track on Monday morning to try and watch the race, and we were sitting in the front grandstands, which is generally, as far as, if you can get up high enough, a good spot at Michigan. You couldn't see the back stretch. It was gone because of the fog. And that's why they ended up calling the race and postponing it till another day, till Tuesday. But I'll tell you what, as much of a pain in the ass as that was, as far as delay, that was one of the funnest, most memorable racing experiences of my life. Because nobody left. And of course, things just kept getting stupider and stupider and stupider. It was hilarious, and it was great. And it ended up on Tuesday being a great race. I think Kurt Busch actually won that race.
I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, he was driving for Penske at that time.
That'd have been 2007.
Yeah. It was great. But anyway, guys, I'm done. Enough down memory lane. If I could do that one all over, if I had one racing experience that I could select,
it was
to do
Kurt
all
Busch
over again, that would be that one. It would be that extended week at Michigan that year, that August. That was, oh my God. I know it wasn't a good weekend for you, Brian, but damn, did we have a good time.
It was like one day for me.
So, all right, guys, I'm done.
All right. Let me get the music going. We get out of here.